सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। नारायणं पद्मभवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपादं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमतास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमतास्य पद्म पादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोडकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। नमः सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। We are in 354. 353 we completed. Now in 354 the new topic is opening up, that is Samadhi Abhyasa, practice of Samadhi. So here Samadhi of two types. One is Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa. Even though at the present moment we may be thinking this is not my cup of tea. Samadhi and all Swamiji, it is too much of a advanced stage. But it is better that we understand what is to be done, even though we are not doing right now. Always knowing what would be the final thing that sadhana to be done. When we understand, we aspire for it. If we don't even know what is to be done, how we aspire for anything then? So the aspiration should be there. That's why to complete knowledge includes suggestion or the guidance for final steps towards moksha. So here Samadhi Swarupa is given here in verse number 354. निःशेषविलयस्तथा समाधिना विकल्पेन यदा द्वैतात्मदर्शनम् अज्ञानहृदयग्रन्थेः निःशेषविलयस्तथा समाधिना विकल्पेन यथा द्वैतात्मदर्शनम् अज्ञानहृदयग्रन्थेः निःशेषविलयः. Ajnana Hridaya Granthi. Hridaya Granthi is knots of the heart. We have seen that. Sankalpaha, that very Sankalpa, that Vishaye Sukhamasti iti Sankalpaha, Tadeva Grantihi, Ajnana Janitaha. And also at the same time, not only that Vishaye Sukhamasti, Indriya Sparshe Sukhamasti iti api. In the contact of the senses also there is sukha. Then in that case, loke sukhamasti iti kalpana. Therefore the word has joy content in it. Tasmat indriyanam pravrittihi. Therefore there is sense organs going outward, extrovertedness. These are all caused by ajnana. So that is why he starts with that. Ajnana Hridaya Grantehe. Of that Ajnana Hridaya Granthi, Ajnana Prayojyaha Ya Hridaya Grantihi. What is that? Chit Jada Tadatmyam. Between Chit and Jada, there is Tadatmyam. That is between the consciousness Chit and Jada, the inert. Gurudev called it as unholy wedlock between matter and spirit. That is, how can that be possible? A thing which is inert and the thing which is alive. These are two contradictory nature. How can there be a wedding between these two? If there is anything common, then there can be a connection. If there is nothing common, it is like water and oil. You pour the oil into the water, they stay as Dvaitam. They do not combine with each other. In the same way, there is nothing common between Jada and Chaitanya. How can there be connection? So this apparent connection or the combination of matter and spirit is possible because of Maya. Agatita Gatana Patiyasi Maya. What is impossible is made to appear possible. It is not really there. It is not really there. Interesting thing is, this object, any object you take, this tumbler you take, is Jadam. Can I infuse life into this? Possible? Inject life into that. Cannot do. In the matter, you cannot inject life, infuse life. Or that which is unperceptible life, can I convert that into matter? That is also not possible. Neither the matter by itself cannot be made alive, nor a life which is imperceptible can become Jadam. But here, in our own self, there is pure awareness along with Jadam. This is called, this Granthi, this connection is called Chit Jada Tadatmyam. The combination or connection between Chit and Jada. This is what is called Hridaya Granthi. And how did it come about? Ajnanat. Now, interesting thing is one more. Can the Jada imagine itself to be Chaitanya? Can an inert thing imagine itself to be alive? Very fact that it is Jadam, Achaitanyam, cannot have the ability to think. Forget about anything else. Can this tumbler or the table or any one of them which is inert, can it by itself ever imagine itself to be conscious? Not possible. Because it does not have self-awareness. So, what is the possibility if Chit and Jada are two different things, which are contradictory by their nature, coming together appearing as one? There are only two possibilities. One, Jada thinking itself to be Chaitanya, or Chaitanya thinking itself to be Jada. Now, Jada cannot think. No, obviously, Jada is not thinking about itself as Chaitanya. Body is not saying that I am so and so. So, what is that which is now making a mistake of itself? Chaitanya. It is the Chaitanya presently mistaking itself to be Jada. That is consciousness now presently thinking itself to be the body. That is the Hridaya Granthi. Now, interesting why it is, because it is self-created. Did the Jadam come and say, I am you? Does it? Because as I said, it cannot. Jada cannot know itself as itself, nor it can influence anything else other than it. So it is not Jadam which is influencing us. Chaitanya mistaking itself to be Jadam is caused by what? Caused by its own ignorance of its own nature. And therefore, you cannot ever blame Jadam as the cause for bondage. It is the self-forgetfulness of the Chaitanya which is misconceiving itself to be the Jadam, and the Granthi created, the knot that is created, is its own mistake. Therefore, the only way to get out of it is not by destroying or disregarding Jadam, because it is not the cause of the problem. Cause of the problem is ignorance, self-forgetfulness, not knowing one's own nature, and mistaking oneself to be something else. These are all self-created. Therefore, it is said, Ajnana Hridaya Grantehe Nishesha Vilayaha, with no trace left behind, complete merger or removal. Tada Samadhina, Avikalpena Samadhina. Avikalpa means nirvikalpa. Even the mind, the thought is also Jadam only. We don't think that way, right? Oh no, Swamiji, thought is real. Thought is not Jadam. Thought actually is the creation of ignorance due to its association with Jadam. Between the Jada and Chaitanya, there is an apparent sense of consciousness, and it appears as thoughts. So, avikalpena, thoughtless. Vikalpa is thought. Avikalpa means nirvikalpena samadhina. When one gets off or removes all thoughts and stays as pure consciousness, yada advaita atma darshanam. Then only there is advaita atma darshanam. And only there is a non-dual experience or vision. So, that is beautifully, this is a beautiful explanation of what is the nature of Samadhi. Samadhi is not sitting quietly doing nothing. No, Samadhi is destruction of the knots of ignorance only when, in the absence of even a single thought, Nishesha Vilaya. Not even a trace. Shesha means little bit. Nishesha Vilaya. So therefore, that Bhagavan, here Gurudev writes, his personality, in Vedanta, the personality bondages are called the knots of the heart. They are spiritual ignorance, avidya, as a consequence of it, desires, kama, that creates agitation in the intellect, and consequently the body level, karma, activity. So, so that's why the triple bondage of spiritual ignorance, desires, and actions, which limits the human personality, ends when the individual successfully trains himself to quieten his mind completely and gets ushered into the experience of the infinite consciousness. Total removal of thoughts. Swamiji, I experience every time in sleep. That is a forced quietude. It is not attempted quietude. You're not attempting to be quiet, it happens. And when without your effort, when it happens, cannot be a long lasting experience. Long lasting means it cannot be an experience which will remain, or it can be made to happen whenever you want. Swami, I can sleep whenever I want. But in that vilaya, there is no, upon waking up, there is no more removal of ignorance, right? After you wake up, again you identify. If after waking up you come to know, oh no, I'm not the body. If that comes to your mind, then it is great. Simple logic will show I was not there with the with identified with the body, right? 6 to 8 hours. When you wake up, think about it. I was, but without the body. If only I can continue to have, that's why Ramana Maharshi would say that samadhi is nothing but wakefully asleep. Jagratyapi sushupti. Even though he's awake, but actually he's sleeping. Even though awake, we are there, he's actually sleeping. Really speaking, even though sleeping, he's actually awake. In the wake, he is asleep. In the sleep, he is awake. Awake to the fact that I am the self. In the waking hours, he slept to the fact that I am the body. That's why, that is a beautiful verse in Gita. That when everybody is asleep, he is awake. When everybody is awake, he is asleep. So therefore, that is called samadhi. Simply put, samadhi is nothing but self-created ignorance to be destroyed. Not even a trace of thought would be there in the nirvikalpa samadhi. And upon that experience, one will have a total elimination of the knots of the heart, which are three in kind, three in nature: ignorance, ajnana, then kama, the desire, and karma, the action. Three knots. Swamiji, if I had known that while I am getting married, three knots, I would have just stopped there only. One is called ajnana, another is called kama, another is called action. Chhod do! See how symbolic, is it not? Only three knots. Why three knots? That's what it is. Vedanta is there. It's Vedanta action there. Your ignorance, you are creating a bondage there. Ek, do, teen. Continuing here. Tvamahamitamidiyam kalpana buddhi doshat. Prabhavati paramatmanyadvaye nirvisheshe. Pravilasati samadhavasya sarvo vikalpah. Vilayanamupagachet vastu tattvavadritya. त्वहमहमिदिवत् त्वमहमिदमिदीयं कल्पना बुद्धिदोषात् प्रभवति परमात्मन्यद्वये निर्विशेषे प्रविलसति समादावस्य सर्वो विकल्पः विलयनमुपगच्छेद्वस्तुतत्त्वाववृत्त्या. Kalpana. Kalpana is imagination. Self-created delusion. Why? Buddhi doshat. Buddhehe doshat. The defect of the intellect. Prabhavati. Paramatmani. Paramatmani prabhavati. In the very Advaye Paramatmani Nirvisheshe Prabhavati. That which is non-different from oneself, Nirvisheshe, Advaye, non-dual, Paramatmani, in that Paramatman, Prabhavati. What? Tvam aham idam itiyam kalpana. Tvam, you. Aham, me. Idam, this. There are only three, right? Idam here means all world, everything. Tvam is you. Aham is I. I, you, the world. In this way, kalpana buddhi doshat prabhavati. Because of the defects of the intellect, it happens advaye paramatmani, in that non-dual paramatman, nirvisheshe paramatmani, in that non-dual paramatman which is non-different. In what way it is non-different? Tvamapi sa eva, ahamapi sa eva, idamapi sa eva. One alone is seen as three. That is what is called Vishesha. Vishesha means different. Tvam, you are different from me, I am different from you, and you are different from the world, I am different from the world. This way, aham, tvam, idam, you, me, that, all this continuously happening. Sama asya samadau, asya purushasya vidushaha, of this person who is now decided to end the thoughts through practice of nirvikalpa samadhi. Pravilasati sarvo vikalpa. All vikalpas, all these thought imaginations come to an end. Vilayanam upagachet sarvo vikalpaha vilayanam upagachet. All of them will come to an end. How? Vastu tattva avadritya. But knowing the vastu, atma vastu tattva, the real essence of oneself, avadritya, knowing very well. Avadharanam is to know, understand. Avadritya, in determination of the nature of the self. Pravilasati means vastu sattva avadritya, vastu yadatmya avadharanena sarvo vikalpakaha vilayanam atyanta nivrittim upagachet prapniyat. So that is only in the nirvikalpa samadhi, avikalpa samadhi, one will come to have a total elimination of everything. And that again, most important thing is that samadhi should take place out of correct knowledge of the self. It is not a forced unconscious state, like in the case of people ask this question, no, Swamiji, somebody gone into a state of, what is it called? Not trance, no, what I'm saying. Coma. You know, coma is not that you decide to go. It happens. In the state of coma, is it not, Swamiji, that a person is totally in that state of no thought? Yes, but the problem is he doesn't even know that he's lying. He doesn't even stay in that abidance of the self is not there. Interesting is that people who has gone to coma and then wake up and then say, oh, I went to the tube of light and went through that, and then there was a white person with a long beard came to me and not it. You go back and all sort of stories they say. Maybe it is they're true. Maybe it is, I'm not sure. But the point is that after coming back, are they better? If they are better, it is good. But they want to make books out of it and then sell it. Isn't it? Many of them have written books. Oh, my out of body experience. OBE is called. Out of body experience. What do? They write a book. And then what? Millions they sold, make money out of it.
There was one famous Australian teenager. He had an accident. When he took home, he wakes up and he started speaking Chinese.
But probably in the previous birth he was Chinese.
That he can accept.
Is it?
Yeah,
He started speaking Chinese?
Yeah, he started speaking Chinese.
You tell me where it is.
And he did exactly what you said. He went to China and started something in China. So he was a novelty.
I don't know about that. This is what happens. So what happens? You are Loke Ishana with the Ishana and with Putra Ishana is not gone. Your desire to become famous in the world or progeny or wealth, that is not gone. So that you cannot consider it as a true experience. So now later on he will say, in this it's a Vivekachoodamani. He would say, what is not Samadhi, even though you think that it is Samadhi. You may think it is Samadhi, but it is not. He will explain that. So here, Tvam aham iti, idam itiyam kalpana, buddhi doshat. As Gurudev writes here, the play of this that creates the concept of time and space. It is in this field that all objects are imagined. When there are objects perceived, then I enters the field as the subject, the perceiver, the subject-object plays, the mind in agitation. Wherever there is idam, there is immediately the birth of aham. Aham related to idam. An experiencer is created when the object is seen to be real. An object which is considered as real will immediately create the aham as a subject to experience. When the idam is seen as false, there is no eagerness to experience it. It's like a mirage water. You see it, but you know it's mirage. At once, the eagerness to experience that water ends. Why? Kahan hai? Pani nahi hai na. So you are very, very gracefully when somebody asks, is there water? You go. Why are you not going? I know it's not there. So, a person may be interested to drink that mirage water. You can say, all the best, go there. So there is no experiencer in a person when that object of experience is false. So Nirvikalpa Samadhi is where one, even while one is awake, constantly there should be a thought process, idam na asti. Idam na asti. Idam nijarupam na asti. It is only an appearance. It is not true. It is not there. Constantly one should think about that way. Now the next step is, while the explanation continues on the Samadhi Avastha, it is called, what is the Samadhi in terms of what is to be done there? In Samadhi, what is to be done? Shantodanta Paramapuratah Shanti Yukta Samadhihi Kurvannityam Kalayati Yatihi Sasvasya Sarvatma Bhavam Tena Vidyatimira Janitan साधु दत्त्वा विकल्पान् ब्रह्माकृत्या निवसति सुखम् निष्क्रियो निर्विकल्पः शान्तोदान्तः परमपुरतः शान्तोदान्तः परमपुरतः क्षान्तियुक्तः समाधिः कुर्वन्नित्यं कलयति यतिः स्वस्य सर्वात्मभावम् तेनाविद्यातिमिरजनितान् साधु दत्त्वा विकल्पान् ब्रह्माकृत्या निवसति सुखं निष्क्रियो निर्विकल्पः समाधि ससामग्रीकं समाधिं तत्फलं च एकश्लोकेन विशदं कथयति. Here Vishadam very clearly speaks what are the things samagrikam. What are the samagri? So samagrikam. What are the ingredients? What is to be done? Samadhim tat phalam. What is the result of the samadhi? Eka shlokena. In single shloka it is spoken. This is an important verse. First of all, what is to be done? Shantaha dantaha parama uparataha shantiyukta samadhi kurvan samadhim kurvan attempting to engage in the samadhi by three important things to do first. Shantihi means shamaha, danti means damaha, uparati, shama dama uparati. Quietening of the senses, dhamma, quietening of the mind, shamaha, and then remaining in the state of withdrawal, uparati. Uparati means swarati, swa atmaniratihi. There is withdrawn state. And continuing, fourth one is kshantihi. Shanti means Dvandva Sahishnuhu, tolerance, complete tolerance on all the dualities that come to one's life. So, Shantaha Nigrita Manaha, Dantaha Niruddha Bhahendriyaha, Parama Atyantam Uparataha, Analambita Bhakya Vrittihi. No more support of the external thing for any of the thoughts. Bahya analambita bahya vrittihi, with no external thing supporting your thoughts, having withdrawn from mind and senses. Kshanti yukta dvandva sahishnuhu samadhim nirvisheshe brahmani chittasya samsthapanam nityam kurvan yatihi, a person kalayati yatihi swasya sarvatma bhavam Satya Sarvatma Bhavam. In one's own nature, Savasya Kevali Bhavam. Sarvatma Bhavam means Kevali Bhavam, being alone in solitude. Kalayadi Anubhavati. A person experiences one's own being in the absence of any more movement of the thoughts or senses, while there will be certain external factors that may probably disturb one, even that having been conquered remains there. Tena, by that, avidya timira janitan sadhu tektva dagdva. By that practice, avidya timira janitan, due to the darkness of the ignorance created, vikalpan tektva. At that time, what will be the thought will be there at the samadhi attempt? Past vasanas will come. Rushingly they will come. Because you are not expressing it outside. When in a normal course of time, when vasana comes and it becomes a desire, desire becomes action. So that is why here Gurudev writes very clearly, the last line, Nishkriyaha Nirvikalpaha Sukham Nivasati Brahmakritya. by the thought of only Brahman, Brahma akritya nivasati sukham. What is controlled? Action is stopped. Once the action is stopped, thought is stopped. When the thought is stopped, vasana will become thinner and weak. When the asana becomes thinner, to that extent, samadhi. So that's why he writes beautifully that the connection between action, thoughts, and desires to be recognized very clearly. Action, when it is stopped properly with the knowledge. Otherwise, only when you stop the action and thoughts are still there, that is called mithyachar. Right? I have a thought, but I won't do it. But thoughts are still there. So action is stopped along with the knowledge of that the thoughts are false. So as even thoughts are arising, immediately that has to be falsified. Otherwise, action will be stopped, thoughts will be still there. If let us say that Rasgulla is there in front of me, I don't want to eat it because I have told everybody that I'm not eating Rasgulla. Okay. Then what happens? Thought is there. If the thought of enjoying the Rasgulla is still there, you wait for everybody to go away. Right? Or you'll say, I'm just packing up for my husband likes it, I'm packing it up for him. On the way itself, it will get emptied. Before it reaches home, nothing will be there. You just stopped the action, but not the thoughts. So action stopped, along with that thought also should be stopped. And when you keep doing that, the vasana for that will also slowly weaken because it cannot remain continuously without being expressed as thought and action. When you keep detecting the action and thoughts, vasana will become weakened. That's why he says, nishkriyaha, no action, nirvikalpaha, no thoughts. Then vasana also daktva vikalpan, that's a daktva vasanadi, vasanan. Vasana, vasanam, vasanani, or if you want to put in neuter, vasanani tektva or daktva, Brahma akritya nivasati. That's why it is said, kriyanashe bhave chittanasha. Kriyanashe, in the absence of action, chittanasha, thought also destroyed. Then, chittanasha, asmat vasanakshaya. From that vasanakshaya, deduction of the vasana. Vasana prakshayo moksha. In the absence of the vasana, there is moksha. Sa jivan mukta ityuchate. That's what is called jivan mukti. So samadhi is not a suddenly one day I want to just practice samadhi for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Preparation takes, Gurudev used to say, if you want to remain half an hour in the state of complete abidance, 23.5 hours of work is necessary for that. See, you see the cricket players, etc., how much in a T20 or whatever the IPL game and they're playing. In one whole day, it's over, right? Half a day, team 1 plays, half a day, team 2 plays. There are 11 players there, correct? Each team has got 11 players. Only 10 people can play because 11th one cannot play much. Alone he cannot play. So, now you see the player 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they are coming to play. They may be playing each one of them probably half an hour, 1 hour, whatever it is. For that half an hour, whatever time they are staying there in that play, how much of net practice they should have done? We think half an hour to play, only half an hour net practice. Half the year net practice. to perform there. To perform for half an hour of game, they would have prepared months together. Then only they can stand for the challenge for half an hour. And the more they have practiced, the more long they stay there in the field. Is it not? Because they have the stamina to stay there. They have the trick to, or the ability to withstand the unpredictable deliveries that is coming to on them. In the same way, vasanas of different kinds will come and hurled on you. Not even thrown, hurled. Will you be able to withstand that? When the samadhi sthiti, you should be able to withstand that. So you are able to withstand the continuous bombardment of the vasanas, not only in this life, many lives you have come. One has to have lot of practice for this. You should have practiced nirvikalpaha, nishkriyaha. That is not translating vasanas into thoughts and thoughts into action. See, vasanas converting into thoughts, you cannot stop it. It will come. What you can do is stop from the action. No, I'm not going to act on this. By removing the action or reducing the action, you are reducing the thoughts. By reducing the thoughts, you are reducing the vasanas. Other way around is difficult. Because vasanas are not under your control, whether it will come or not. Who knows? But acting on it or not is your choice. The moment you keep thinking about it, it will become an action. Sure, it will come as an action. You cannot stop it. That is why Shantaha, Dantaha, both are action only. Withdrawal of the mind, withdrawal of the senses, Uparataha, Parama Uparataha, withdrawal of both of them and remaining not engaging in them. Bahya Analambanam Vrittehe, Kshanti, a reaction to the world is also absent there. That is why it is said, pinpricks of life may not cause agitation to him. Gurudev writes, Kurvan nityam kalayati yatihi swasya sarvatma bhavam kalayati. He becomes experiencer of one's own self. Tena avidyatimira janitan sadhu daktva vikalpan. And that created vasanas are also burned Brahma akritya with the Brahmakara vritti, Brahma akritya, and that will be explained later how it is. One remains steadily in that Sukhanubhavam. Samahitaye pravilapya bahyam
Samahitaye pravilapya bahyam
Shrotradichetasvamaham chidatmani
Shrotradichetasvamaham chidatmani
Tayeva muktva bhavapashabadde
Taeva mukta bhavapashabandhaihi
Bandehe Nanye to paroksha katabhidayinah
Nanyetu paroksha katha vidhayinah
Samahitaye pravilapya bahyam Shrotradichetasvamaham chidatmani Tayeva muktva bhavapashabande Nanyetu paroksha katabhidayinah Mukta. What did he say? Muktva is it? Mukta. Te eva muktaha.
And it is here in this version, it's bandhaihi.
Bandaihi. What did I say? Bandehe. Bandaihi is right. Correct. I made a mistake here. Bandaihi muktaha te eva. From the Bhavabhasha bandaihi. Let us see here. Bhavabhasha. Chidatmani bandai, correct. Bhavabhasha bandaihi te eva muktaha. So here they are considered as those who are free from The here bandaihi, it should be in the fifth bandat should be understood, because bandaihi tritiya will not apply here. By the bondage, it's not correct. From the bondage. So muktaha ste eva bandha muktaha. They are considered as free. Who? This is beautifully given, as I said. Coma cannot be considered as samadhi. Why? See, he says, ye samahitaha. Ye, those people who are samahitaha. Samahitaha means those who are considered to be having a mind which is completely placid and well placed. Samyak ahitaha. Ye, how bahyam pravilapya, having dissolved the external world, bahyam srotradi pravilapya, turning away one's attention of the senses from the world, srotra adi, ears, etc., meaning no more listening, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, none of those. Then what would remain is ahankar. That chidatmani aham pravilapya. So that's why I say chetas swamaham chidatmani pravilapya is a verb here. Bahye shrotradi chetas swamaham chidatmani pravilapya. All of them, having withdrawn the senses, etc., from the world, and along with the mind, one has merged everything into the self. Then te eva muktaha. They are considered as muktaha from what? Bhavabhasha bandaihi muktaha. Others, na anye, not others. Why? Paroksha katabhidayina. Paroksha means external. Para-aksha. So paroksha means something which is not considered as merger into the self, but paroksha shabda matra abhidayikaha, meaning akrita pravilapanaha anye. They have not really merged consciously the senses and the mind into the self. It happened to them in the form of a coma or unconscious state. That is not actually a merger of the mind and senses into the self. It is an arrested situation, and whatever they say is invalid. That is not considered as a valid form of samadhi. See, in Yoga Marga also there is samadhi, where they forcefully quieten the mind and the senses, etc., and in the state of stillness they remain, only to wake up to become the same again. Nothing is changed. They may probably get some powers, etc., but they have not changed. They have not attained the Nirvikalpa Samadhi by merely withdrawing the mind and the senses without the knowledge. So that's why it said, and none else, Gurudev writes, who blabber their indirect knowledge. Paroksha kata. About blabbering about their external forms of quietening the mind or going into the state of apparent samadhi. Only on awakening to the vivid state of pure infinite consciousness can we be released from our binding identification with the BMI. And it is indirect knowledge about samadhi is mere blabber, no matter how eloquent the talk may be. So there is definitely in the Advaita Vedanta, it is very clear, one has to find non-dual self intimately as oneself, withdrawing everything seeing the false nature of everything else, upon waking up, there is no more a trace of that person's attachment with anything because he knows it is not there. Whereas all others who may go into that so called state of samadhi and come to read books and make money. how, how that can be considered as giving importance to the world and the wealth, etc., that only shows that you don't have that experience. Very clear. Having come to woken up from the dream, have you ever going to write about my dream that she came true and all that? What's foolishness then? So, continuing here, Upadhiyoga swayameva vidyate. Upadhiyoga. What is Vedanta? Oh, that is Gurudev's version. Okay, yeah. Upadhi Vedat swayameva vidyate. Chopadhyabohe swayameva kevalah. Tasmat upadhirvilayaya vidwan. Vaset sada kalpa samadhi nishtya. Upadhi Vedat swayameva vidyate. Chopadhyapohi swayameva kevalah. Tasmadupadirvilayaya vidwan. Vaset sada kalpa samadhi nishtaya. Upadhi Vedat swayameva vidyate. Here vidyate is to be understood as not cut. Vid, one meaning is cut to cut. Vidyate hridaya granthi. Another meaning for vid is Veda. Vedaha asti. Vidyate means it differentiates. Upadhi Vedat swayameva vidyate. Because of the difference in the upadhi, what he identifies with, based upon that is the all differences. If I am identified with my body, I see only bodies here. Is it not? The child, when it is small, very small, even the toy is true. Correct? Oh, my elephant, my teddy bear. Because at that point, the child identifies itself only as the body, and therefore everything that is even inert is as much as live for the child. My teddy bear. I want to feed him. I want to play with him. I want to take him wherever I want. So, what does it mean? Even the teddy bear which is not live, the child cannot make difference. The child says, I am a body, and that is also a body. It has I have eyes, it also has eyes. I have nose, it has also nose. I talk and that fellow doesn't talk. That's the only difference. I walk, he doesn't walk. I have to make him walk. So all idea is that this is as much alive as me. Only when it grows up to little more, is that is only a toy. Not true. But nowadays it is not. We are. So then virtual reality, when you think that is real, when you come out of that, you think that it is other. This is unreal. So, Upadhi Vedat Swayameva Vidyate. Upadhi Veda means because of the differences based upon one's identification, the differences are perceived. So, when does it end? When does it end that the person will see no more anything other than oneself? Upadhi Apohe. Upadhi Apohe cha, the cha is put before. Chopadi. What is Chopadi? Not Cha Upadi, not Chopadi. Upadhi apohe cha swayameva kevala. What is it? When Upadhi is gone, where are you? I'm all alone, Swamiji. Akela hu. Sushupti avastha mein akhele ho. Even in the dream, you are akhela only. You are alone only. Why? Your identification with the body gone, you are alone. Nobody else is there. From the standpoint of the body only, there are many bodies. When the body is gone, you are alone. कोई नहीं है. चल अकेला, चल अकेला. Go alone, alone. केवलः स्वयमेव. Therefore, तस्मात् उपादेर्विलयाय विद्वान् वसेत् सदा. Therefore, an individual attempting for nirvikalpa samadhi should constantly remain in non-identification with the physical body, knowing that it does not really exist. Akalpa samadhi nishtaya, nirvikalpa samadhi nishtaya. Gurudev writes here, Nirvikalpa Samadhi practice is, he must try to bring mind completely and absolutely to silence. And when should I want to do? Once or twice a day, he should struggle hard to bring the mind into perfect quietude. Gurudev writes in his commentary. Every day, at least twice, once or twice, maybe at the beginning of the day or end of the day, come to bring absolute quietude, total silence. Not even a thought should be there. That is a practice for. That's why I said in the beginning itself, Nirvikalpa Samadhi may be a very lofty, goal, but don't keep it there only. इसके लिए क्या करना है अभी? What is to be done now? Every day attempt to bring a complete stillness to the mind. Once or twice a day, you should struggle hard to bring. It may be a very deep, very difficult struggle, no doubt about that. We are not used to it. But any kind of challenge, by practice alone, we have overcome. I don't know cooking, I don't know walking, I don't know driving, I don't know this. How did you overcome that? You're not born driving the car. You're not born cooking the meal. But you did once or twice, you attempted, again. So many people suffered out of that, but that doesn't matter. Finally, somehow tolerably you are able to cook. Driving also in the beginning, of course, you find it so difficult to do that. Then later on, you are able to do it. Swimming, did you learn by not going into the water? I will not go into the water, but I want to know swimming. That's not possible. I will not touch the vehicle, the bike, but I want to ride it. That is not possible. Everything has some difficulty in the beginning. Therefore, Gurudev says, hard to bring the mind to perfect, work hard. The rest of the time, even while experiencing the world, various phenomena of the outer world, he should cultivate a habit of turning his mind into inner quietude. Even as one interacts with the world also, there should be an attempt to become quiet. So what it means, whatever you're seeing, try to see if you can avoid creating too many thoughts about that object or a person. Because mind, by habit, it creates so many thoughts. If it is necessary for a work situation where you have to discuss on a matter or discuss on something, yes, you need to think about it because your engagement demands it. But on your own, when you are not in the workplace, when you are not engaged in any such transactional world, attempt to be, even as you see objects, reduce the thought regarding that object. Bring it down as yato nischarati manachanchalamastiram tatastato niyamya atmanni vakshamne. Do not allow the mind to go in blabbering towards objects. Gurudev's idea is very clear. This is called practice of samadhi. Habit of turning the mind to inner quietude. You can take the help of Om, or you can take the help of breathing. You can take the help of even sound or music, but you should not pay attention on the music or the, but it has to make the mind relatively quiet. The other day somebody, showed me how that, in the Buddhist tradition they have the bong, but not bong, it's called dong or bong? Bong. Dong. Dong. Bong is a drink. So in that sound, if you keep traveling through that sound, it vibrates for a long time, very long time. Only you can chant Om also to make it so quiet. So that's why they have that. I remember when I was in Calcutta for a short time, I used to go to a particular lake at the park. And then one day I was walking and we found a small monastery, Buddhist monastery. You know what they do? That let me go and check. I went inside. One Buddhist monk was sitting there, and there was a huge dong lying. Hanging. So he was sitting there, looking at that, and he was not doing anything. I was just waiting. Why is he looking at the dong? Eyes fixed, no movement at all. So I sat behind him. I was restless. What is it to do there? And then after some time, he got up, done, and then he came and sat. It's a long sound. It slowly became thinner and thinner and quiet. So that he was doing almost half an hour, and I walked away. But he was continuing that. So mental quietude is the gateway to samadhi. That's why Gurudev writes, Samadhi Nishta is even as you attempt during the day once or twice in total quietude, but even in the transactional world, even as you various phenomena of the outer world, one should cultivate bringing the mind to inner quietude. Now, is a beautiful, I'm going beyond time. But it's a beautiful example of the wasp, wasp. That's a beautiful explanation on that. We'll see in the next session on that. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kasyat Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.